All right, guys, so today is May the 12th, and this is instructions for how to write checks and also put those checks that you write into your check register. So I want you to start with a regular sheet of blank paper. It can be printer paper or notebook paper, it doesn't matter. Fold that sheet of paper hamburger style. Open it up and draw a line down the middle where your fold is. So this is what we're looking like. Now on that right-hand side, I want you to divide that half into three, as even as you can, rectangles, because these are going to be your three checks on the right side. So this is what we're talking about, but it's the right side. I know it may look a little backwards on the camera, but it is your right side. So you're going to have one check here, another, and then a check at the bottom. Now on the left-hand side of your paper, I want you to draw a huge rectangle that pretty much fills up that entire left-hand side. And on that left, this is going to be what's called your check register. It's where you actually document all the transactions that happen in your checking account. So we're looking at this side right here. Okay, so on your right side, you got your three checks. And on this left side, you just got a big rectangle that's filling up that other half. Now on that right side, you're actually going to draw out three checks, all of your parts. And I've actually already done this, so I'm going to call attention to it, but let me just go step by step. So I'm going to start with my name in top left-hand corner of my first check. And then I'm just going to write address and phone number, because I don't care what your address is and what your phone number is. So just for the sake of this assignment, just write address and phone number right underneath your name. You're going to do that for each of your three checks. Address, phone, and my third check, Tara McDonald. Address, phone. Okay, so I've got my name, my address, and I wrote the word phone number for each of those three checks. Now I'm going to start actually filling out parts of my check. So we're going to write three checks today, and you guys are going to pretend that you're starting with a brand new checking account at the bank. So your check numbers will be check number 001, 002, and 003. Your checks go in consecutive numerical order. So that'll be the first check you write, second and third, and then however long you have your checking account, you might get to check number 4,565, 4,566. Okay. So let me pull out my checkbook so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this is my checkbook. So right here, where is my pinky? This pinky right here, that's check number 1640. So I've written 1,639 checks. My next check will be 1640. And I'm holding this here so you guys can get an idea of what an actual check kind of looks like. I know it's a little blurry because my camera's not zooming, but at least you guys can see. So that's what we're going to actually draw three times. So let me put this up to the camera so you guys can actually see step by step how I'm going. All right, under the check number, I'm actually going to write the date. So I'm going to start out, today's May the 12th, 2021. So I just wrote the date, May 12th, 2021, because that's today's date. And then under that, I'm actually going to write out the parts of my check. So pay to the order of, and then a line right here, pay to the order of, that's going to be where you're going to write your check to, so like Walmart. And then you're going to have a little dollar sign with a box. That's where you're going to actually write your numbers out, your amount of money that you're writing the check for in number form. And then you're going to have a line under pay to the order of, And at the end, it's going to have dollars. That's where you're actually going to write out the amount of the check in Word form. And then under that, you're actually going to write the name of your bank. My bank is State Employees Credit Union. Right there, State Employees Credit Union. And then under that, I'm going to write the word for. So it says for. That's what you're actually buying. And then beside for, there's going to be another line. That's where you're going to have your signature. And then under those two lines, you're actually going to write numbers. And you're going to just make these up. So I'm just going to say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These two numbers, you can see them below 4 and underneath this other line. That will be your routing number, which is your bank's number. That's already going to be pre-printed on your check. And then the other number is your account number. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about here in my actual checkbook. So these are the two numbers that I'm talking about. So where's my pinky? All right, so this first number right here, that's my bank's routing number. So that number right there is linked to State Employees Credit Union. The second number right here, that's my account number. That actually links to my checking account. But for this activity, you're just making up two numbers just to write at the bottom of your drawing, just so I know that you know what you're doing. So I'm going to do that actually 3 times. So I've done it once. I'm going to do the exact same thing for check number 002 and check number 003. Okay, so I'm pretending that I've already written out the parts of my check for all 3. Now I'm going to go back and actually fill out my check. So for this first check, I'm going to write it to Walmart. I'm going to write a check to Walmart. I'm going to spend $100.20. So Walmart, and then $100.20. That line below Walmart, I'm actually going to spell out 100, O-N-E-H-U-N-D-E-R-E-D, and 20 over 100. So I actually spelled that out. 100, that's the little ampersand symbol, and that's 20 over 100 for the change. And then I draw a line. That's just a security thing to make sure whoever gets my check does not write anything else there. Now, for, I'm saying that I bought groceries. So beside the word for, I'm going to write the word groceries. Just like in my checkbook, it says, it's right there. Mine says memo, but that's what that is. That's what that line right there is. That's for where what you're actually buying. Groceries, sneakers, cell phone bill. And then the last line is actually for your signature. So that last line there will be for your signature. So you're going to write 3 checks. So on this document, I've got 3 checks filled out. I wrote in different colored ink. I wrote it in purple so you guys can see the difference. So this first check I wrote to Walmart. The second check I wrote to Foot Locker. And that third check I wrote to US Cellular. So for Walmart, I wrote a check for $100.20. Foot Locker is $56.03. And then US Cellular was for $75. And then for Walmart, it's for groceries. Foot Locker is for shoes. US Cellular is for my cell phone bill. Now we're going to move over to our check register, this side right here. So remember, you've got your little rectangle. And at the top, I want you guys just to write the word register. Just like a cash register. And then you're going to draw some lines. Make your lines pretty big. I'd say maybe 3/4 of an inch wide. That way you got plenty of writing space. And draw, I don't know, how many lines do you need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Enough for 7 spaces. So this is what I just did. Now I'm going to divide this up into different columns. So my first column is going to say number. Number. My second column is going to say date. Date. The third column, I'm going to write transaction. That will be like Walmart, Foot Locker, US Sailor. So the word transaction. Next is going to be withdrawal. I'm going to abbreviate withdrawal with WTD. That lets me know if that transaction was a withdrawal, if I took money out of my checking account. Next is going to be a check mark. You're not going to do anything with the check mark for this activity, but I still want you to draw it, so you guys know that it's there in your register. After the check mark is going to be deposit. I'm going to abbreviate that with DEP. See, DEP. And then last is going to be the amount of money. So $. And we're all, for this activity, going to start with $500 in our checking account. So I'm going to start off with $500 in my checking account. Everybody in this room, submit this assignment. You're going to start with $500 in your account. Yippee! Now I'm going to start recording my checks into my check register. So the first check that I wrote, remember, was for Walmart. And today's date was May the 12th. And the check number was 001. So under number, I'm going to write 001. Number 001. For the date, I'm going to write May 12th. And I'm just going to do 5/12. So check number 001, date is 5/12. Transaction was to Walmart. Walmart. This is a withdrawal because money is going to come out of my account. So the withdrawal was in the amount of $100.20. So under withdrawal, I wrote that's $100.20 right there. Don't do anything for the check. And then this is not a deposit. We didn't put money into our account. We're taking money out with a check. Remember, we're spending money at Walmart for groceries. So under the 500, I'm going to write $100.20. This is where I'm actually going to do my math. So I'm going to subtract $100.20 from my $500 that was in my account. That's going to leave me with $399.80. But remember, I've got 2 other checks that I was going to write over here on this left-hand side. Excuse me, on that right-hand side. So I'm going to take whatever I fill my checks out for, Foot Locker and US Sailor, and I've got to put them over here in my register. So let me show you my finished sheet. So my first check, we're going to look at this side first. My first check was written to Walmart for $100.20. My second check was written to Foot Locker for $56.03. And then my third check was written to US Sailor for $75. Now over here on my register, I've got my check numbers, check number 001, check number 002, and check number 003. They correspond to those 3 checks, 001, 002, 003. And you guys see I've got the date. I wrote 3 checks for today, for May the 12th. So all these dates are the same, May the 12th. Transaction, this first check was written to Walmart. Second check was to Foot Locker for shoes. Third check was US Sailor for my cell phone bill. There were all three withdrawals. So we're right here. There were all three withdrawals. The first check was for $100.20. The second one was for $56.03, and the third one was for $75. They're all three in that column. And this is, oops, right here under my 500, that's where I actually did my calculations. So for that first check, that was $100.20. When I subtracted, I got $399.80. This next check for Foot Locker was for $56.03. I subtracted and ended up with $342.67. And then my last check I wrote to US Sailor was for $75. When I subtracted, I ended up with $257.67. So that tells me that I've got $257.67 in my bank account that I can spend. So do this, take a picture of this. You write your own checks. Don't copy mine, that's plagiarism. Write your own checks to whatever companies you want. Document those checks in your check register. Actually do your subtracting. So that way I can see this entire document for submission. I'm going to count this as a project grade for you guys. So this is a biggie because I know it's going to take a little bit of time to draw everything, and I know it's aggravating, but I still want you to have practice filling out a check and understanding the purpose of putting it into your check register. Now, let me show you my check register in my real checkbook so you guys would see. It's in the back of your checkbook. So I'm going to go back to the back of my checkbook. And this is my actual check register. You guys can see. Trying to get to the right. This is my check number, date, transaction, the amount. And then I did my math over here. But just remember that with a real checking account, you're going to do more than just write checks. You're going to keep track of also money that you're depositing into your account. So like right here, where that weird number is in this column right here under deposits, that's a deposit for $650. So I actually added that. You're going to keep track of money that you're putting in and money that you are taking out in your check register. That way you keep track of what's going on with your own account, because banks make mistakes just like we do. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you guys tomorrow.